Today I'm going to share with you how to bake cookies without an oven. This is for those who do not have an oven at home, or maybe your oven is broken like mine. I'll be sharing 3 different methods on how to bake cookies in a non-oven. You can choose any of the method that you prefer. But before we begin, if you are new here, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a comment below. I post new videos every week, so there will always be something new for you to learn. Alright, let's get started. First method is to bake cookies on your stovetop. For this recipe, you only need 2 ingredients: 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can adjust the amount of sugar depending on your preference. I just find it easier to measure the ingredients when using a measuring cup. For the flour, I use spoon and level method to get accurate measurement. And for the butter, I cut it into cubes so it will melt faster. In a medium saucepan, add in butter and heat it on low to medium heat. Continuously stir the butter until it has completely melted. Then we're gonna add in our brown sugar and vanilla extract. We're gonna keep on stirring the mixture until the sugar has mostly dissolved. You might notice that the mixture starts to bubble and boil. That's perfectly normal. Continue boiling the mixture for another minute or 2, after which we're going to remove it from the heat and set it aside to cool down for a bit. While the mixture is cooling down, go ahead and sift in the flour. Make sure to sift in all the flour to prevent your cookies from being tough. Then mix it in until it forms a dough. The dough should not be too sticky. If it's too sticky, you can add in more flour, 1 tablespoon at a time. Once you have even pieces, roll them out and place them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper to get even pieces. I like to use a kitchen scale, but if you don't have one, you can just roll them by hand. Now we're going to roll the cookie dough into balls. Roll them out on a lightly floured surface so they won't stick. Place the balls onto the prepared baking sheet, then flatten them slightly using a fork. You can also roll them using a rolling pin. I baked these cookies on a non-stick pan. I lightly greased and floured the pan before placing the cookies. The advantage of using a non-stick pan is that you can easily remove the cookies after cooking. However, if you don't have a non-stick pan, you can cook them directly on your stovetop. To do this, you need to prepare 2 heavy-bottomed skillets or frying pans. You're going to place one on top of the stove and the other one on top of the first. In between the 2 skillets, place the cookies. Now we're going to cook the cookies on low heat. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes or until the cookies are lightly golden brown. Remember to flip the cookies halfway through so they will cook evenly. Once they are done, transfer them onto a wire rack to cool. The second method is to bake cookies using a grill. This method works best for chewy cookies. You can adjust the amount of sugar and flour depending on your preference. I'm making 1 ton or 2 batch of my chewy chocolate chip cookies. For the ingredients, I'm going to use 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of butter. In a medium bowl, whisk together the flour, baking soda, and salt. In a separate bowl, cream together the butter and brown sugar until light and fluffy. Then pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix it in until just combined. Do not overmix. Get a piece of aluminum foil, roll it out and place the dough on top. Roll it up tightly, then tuck the ends to make sure that the dough won't unravel. Place the package on the grill, then place the grill on high heat. Close the lid and cook the cookies for 15 to 20 minutes or until the cookies are lightly golden brown. Remember to flip the cookie dough halfway through so they will cook evenly. Once they are done, let it cool on a wire rack before unwrapping the foil. The third method is to bake cookies using a George Foreman. You can make any type of cookie dough for this method. I'm using a store-bought sugar cookie dough. Cut the cookie dough into 4 equal pieces, then roll them out. Place the cookie dough on the George Foreman. Then close the lid. Cook for 3 to 5 minutes, or until the cookies are lightly golden brown. Flip the cookies and cook for another 3 to 5 minutes. You can adjust the cooking time depending on the thickness of your cookie. Once they are done, you can transfer them onto a wire rack to cool. So that's how you can bake cookies without an oven. Let me know in the comments section which method you're going to try.